Welcome to Atarashi Hinode. In this tutorial, we will begin with our first unit, that is computer fundamentals. So how do we say, or how do we define a computer? We actually use computer for various substances and performing various functions such as browsing. So we use computer for browsing. We use it for browsing, watching videos, or reading ebooks or e-tickets, etc., and much more. So how do we properly define a computer? So computer is an electronic device that can perform a variety of operators in accordance with a set of instructions called program. Okay, so let's take the example which we mentioned before, that is computers used for browsing. So when we use a computer for browsing, how are we able to do with the help of a computer? So how are computers able to perform functions such as browsing or watching videos? What can computers understand? So this is where a set of instructions come in. These set of instructions are often also called as program, or also they are also called as software. Certain times we often refer it to as software also. So these software are these softwares are read by the computer, and this is how they perform browsing, or these set of instructions help computers to perform functions such as watching videos, reading ebooks, or browsing. So computers can understand only these softwares or programs. So that is how computers perform various functions, and this is the actual proper definition. Now this brings into sense that computer is a combination of hardware and software. So let's get back. So computer is a combination of hardware and software. So what is meant by hardware and software? Here hardware is the physical substance, that is the tangible components of a computer, such as the CPU itself. The CPU, the central processing unit, is a hardware because it's a solid substance, we can touch it. So these are the tangible components, or this is what actually is hardware. The CPU, then hardware also includes storage units or memory units. Storage units, and this one also includes the memory controller, I'm sorry, 1 minute. Memory controller. Okay, so what is meant by the software? Software is a language which can be understood by only computer. So our normal English could not be understood by computer. So software is a set of instructions through which computers can perform function. So computer perform various functions on the basis of software which is defined in it. So hardware is a tangible component of a computer like motherboard, processor, or storage, and software is a set of program or instruction. Even the Windows operating system, Windows OS, is a software. This is a software that gives this is a software that tells a computer what to do. Even the Mac operating system, All these are examples of software. So that's now let's get into the difference of data and information. Data and information. So what is actually meant by data? So data is a raw fact. So data in computer terminology mean raw facts and figures. So this is the actual example for data. John, it can be a name, but we can definitely say it doesn't mean anything to a user or the one who is reading it. Actually, it doesn't give any meaning to anything. So 1998 is a year, and London, capital, England. So these data doesn't mean anything in particular. These are just a particular name, year, or London. It doesn't give any sensible meaning or valuable information. So what is meant by information then? Informations are processed data. It has a valuable meaning. Now information are the processed data. So data are processed to form information. So John is 8 years old. So this is the same data. Here for the example of data we have taken John. So the same John, that data is present over here, the information as well. So information includes data and it is processed. So we can conclude that information are processed data and it convey a meaningful information to the reader. So this is it. Data are raw facts whereas information is meaningful data. Data is raw facts and information is processed data. That's why it has a meaningful data. See, it has a meaningful data. Data is still here. Okay. Earlier we have mentioned that computer is a combination of hardware and software. Now let's look into the hardware, the components of computer. So these are the components of a computer, and this is the flow chart of data and the control. So talking about the hardware, the input unit and the output unit, then the storage unit, then the CPU, that is central processing unit. So input unit here, as we mentioned before, data, the raw facts are input in here. Then the data from the input unit goes straight away to the storage unit. Then it finally comes to the output unit as a processed data as information. So these data are processed by the computer and it comes out to the output unit as information. So the secondary memory in the storage unit is actually nothing but the regular HDD is the internal storage itself. HDD, then the primary storage, that is the RAM. RAM is the abbreviation of random access memory, whereas the main memory ROM stands for read-only memory. So the data flows is just among the three hardware unit, from the input unit to the storage unit, then the computer processes it, then gives it back to the output unit as an information. So this output unit actually includes VDU. Video stands for visual display unit. Visual display unit. And this is just a LCD screen of a desktop or even a laptop screen. And the input unit is nothing but the regular keyboard or mouse, digitizer, etc. So now let's take a look at the control flow. So the data which we enter through the input unit. Okay, so the first control flow preference is with the CPU. CPU is abbreviation of Central Processing Unit. Central Processing Unit. And this CPU has two major parts. The first one is the CU, the control unit. It looks after the various peripheral devices such as the various pen drives or keyboards or mouse, input or output devices. It looks after that and then makes into a properly functioning devices. And the ALU unit, this is the arithmetic logic unit. This is where the actual processing takes off. It actually deals with the plus, minus, multiplication, or such kind of logical operators. So this is what it does. This is its function. We'll take a deeper look into these functions in the upcoming later videos. So the basic computer components includes input unit, then the output unit, storage unit, and the CPU itself.